and welcome to the Talkshow series with NUVision. I am Meera Eda, a third year student of Journalism and Mass Communication program of Navrachana University, and I will be your host for this episode. Please join me in welcoming a very special guest today. His name is Mr. Darshan, and he is the founder of Team Prayas, an organization which helps and rescues animals in Surat. First of all, thank you so much, Darshan, for joining us in the talk show. It would be great if you could give a small introduction about yourself and then let's get on to your team.
I'm Darshan. I'm basically from Surat. I belong to South Gujarat and just a usual guy. I'm a chemical engineer. I did my post-graduation in computer science and then went on to work in the environment engineering field as a profession. And along with, since school time, since we almost all of us are, how we are exposed to nature environment through camping and excursions. And I was fortunate enough to have some senior friends who introduced me and other friends to forests and wildlife and environment. And since school time, of course, due to great inputs of my parents, especially my mom, I developed a more affinity towards working for nature and environment. First, by exploring it and knowing, and then probably doing something about it. So after all the knowledge, basic knowledge gathering that we do till our college times, we get to have the fair idea of what it should be, how we should be treating environment and animals and all, how we should be treating other people, and how we are actually doing. And it's a miracle how when you express your thoughts, how it matches with others, and others who are having the same core values come along and form a group which can, at least first dream of and then do a little bit of what they can to start a direction where in a future we can see a tangible change how we are treating the environment. So we all started, and basically if you want to reach somewhere, you make a start. It doesn't matter if you go by an airplane or a bullock cart, but you have to get moving. So what we thought was, at least let us start doing things, and then parallelly we could see what all we can do and how. So one of the major things that we should be doing is to at least start doing something. So that is how we started. We started doing our part. When we look back over 15 years, we have an organization which has dedicated as well as volunteers teams who rescue and do the best to undo the things that we have done to the animals and nature. Yeah. So that's how we work. We work with the corporation and the government to save trees by advocacy or value adding their planning. And if not, then we have a team which takes on transplant projects to salvage as many trees as they can in development projects.
That's
both
really
public
nice.
or private. So these are the main focus areas. One is we work for injured animals, birds, and the trees. So doing things, what was needs to be done, or हम लोग क्या कर सकते थे. So when we saw injured puppy, we started, getting them help. Okay, we used to take one puppy to a hospital, and not thinking about, not even knowing that doctor will be, asking for money. And the main and whole focus, my innocence, was that this puppy needs help. when we started, it was just like we could do whatever we can. Like, and a main impetus to the whole program came from the Uttarayan campaign that we did. We actually discovered that there is a big injustice happening to birds, and though Surti, uh, to think that I'm not going to fly kites was was enough for me to counted or discounted as a crazy person. So, but there were a lot of people, as I say, it's not that I inspired or somebody or something. There are a lot of people already who could believe that this is wrong, and it was just that one seed that around which everything crystallized. Difficulties, there were a lot of difficulties, but if you see their difficulties, then they are difficulties. If you say that okay, this is a difficulty, and probably maybe since we are young or we were madly in a belief that things should be done. So those difficulties were our next year's goals in a
True.
subconscious way. Not that we were having some management or inspired by some guru or something, but when you really are connected with the cause, all these philosophies and all these management learning they just come just like that. So we were not able to. Surat was not having any animal hospital, and we were treating them by keeping the animals in our backyard. We were not able to do much to them because there were no veterinarians. I'm talking about 1990, 1995. So, and there was not much awareness also. So, by doing things, we just kept on, overcoming those difficulties and also discovering new difficulties.
Of
Because the
course.
more you do, the more challenges you discover, and
Yes.
the horizons keep on expanding. So, if you say difficulties, then well, I won't tell them difficulties. I'm not being that you know very sophisticated
Of course.
jargon
Of
of
course.
management or any sort. But actually, uh, when you enjoy doing much other
Yeah.
things, those difficulties, you look for difficulties so
Yeah.
that you have
You take
something
them
to do
as
for the next year.
challenges.
Yeah, we take them as challenges, right?
Yeah.
So that's how all about it. And parallelly, actually, I personally and some of my friends did have an experience of working in other teams. Like when I did my education from Pune, we were a part of many voluntary organizations. So, so we did have an experience, or you can say an industry experience of working in a voluntary sector. So we did have that experience and knowledge to be put into what we would build as an organization. So
Yes.
we kept on doing that, and of course we had to be very open to accommodate all kinds of people who actually meant doing things.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
uh,
That's
that's
important.
it. So difficulty. I mean, obviously difficulties are there because there is a lot of apathy towards animals in our society.
Yeah.
But equally, there are so many people who would sell off their houses to work for animals.
Yes. Of
So,
course.
so if you keep on moving, the difficulties becomes challenges, and challenges becomes achievement. So, of course, many difficulties, but an online platform which is connected to an app that we have made, which acts as like an Uber of risk, that which work towards resolving the larger issue. So we want to facilitate uh, the work, or you can say retail this work out to people at large. So that is our aim. So probably in 5 years, we want this online platform to be the right now it is Uber of rescue. We want it to be Amazon of rescue. We want it to be Facebook of rescue. We want it to be at all. So we want to take this to people. We want this. I mean, if see, The problem is that if you find an injured dog, the dog is injured because it might have met with an accident in 90% of the times. It meets with an accident because it has no food to eat and it has to roam around, cross the streets and all, right? And of course, one part is that there is an uncontrolled population growth of dogs in the streets, which is also a sad part because most of them lead a miserable life. So uh, we just want this whole difficult work to be broken up into small things which common people can do, or a smaller units like society or a sherry can do. So that is what our goal is. So in fact, probably we may be adding two zeros to our strength of people, but not exactly in the name of Prayas team. We just want to make things easier for all other people to do, and then try our hands on something more difficult to make it easier. So that's how we are working on.
Perfect, perfect. So one last thing that I want to know is, can you share one of your good memories while rescuing animals, which has really, stayed in your mind?
So when we started off, we started one small clinic in a rented shop, and we had people, bringing animals there. It was a clinic, which in a shop in a market where people used to bring in animals. Our rescuers used to bring in animals. We used to treat them and send them back. So there is one small pup with two front legs crushed unimaginably. It was like very critical situation. But we just, did what we did best. We stopped the bleeding and rested. It was not so. IV bottles were put on. They were very small, probably around 55 to 60 days. So it was very, very bad situation. But slowly, as we kept on uh, helping the puppy, he kept on becoming better and better. Both the legs were gone, but we saw that puppy started build the strength and started walk on the hind two legs. So basically, that puppy initially for a month or so, it used to take support of its nose as a third leg, but fight, and it was so hopeful seeing us every morning back. We had to field, play, and socialize with them. So basically, it was us. अगर हमने उस दिन ना बोल दिया था तो that puppy was not going to survive. So we actually could relate how we grew as an organization to how that puppy survived. And the whole story of that puppy, we called him Kangaroo because he used to sit on hind two legs and a tail when we are all sitting. And since we had to keep that puppy for life because it was not worthy on while going on street and lead normal life. So that whole journey of that puppy actually gave us one very strong notion or a statement that we could follow for life, that if we say no to something, it is definitely not done. However unimaginable or impossible task it is. But if we say, okay, let's try it, then probably one thing after the other, things go. So there were many failures, but this one rescue and treatment and then adoption of that puppy actually has given us a lifetime of the strength, because the will to survive and do good was quite visible in that puppy's eyes. And so it was basically like we were taking hope. We were learning to develop faith and hope by watching that puppy survive. and probably the same way that puppy was looking back to us on hope and strength.
One message that I can take from this story is that instead of just saying no, if we try, we can change a lot of things by just giving our best to the situation. We might save a life by just trying it something. For I totally agree with your message that taking action is important. Everybody right now knows that they are supposed to do things and they talk, but instead of talking, you need to start taking actions, even at the most basic level, and at least start doing something. So yeah, that is the message that I'm gonna take. And thank you so much for sparing your little time with us, and uh, sharing your story and sharing the story of Team Prayas.
Okay, it was really nice to speak to you and to share what we could tell. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
With this, we come to an end to the first episode of Talk Show series with NUVision. This is Meera Eda signing off, and thank you so much for joining in. Please stay tuned for more episodes.